How long do you guys have to date to know if the person is the right person for you?
I don't like putting timeline on things, man. I just
don't,
feel
man.
like it's
Because then I'm putting pressure on myself.
Yeah, what if you like
Nobody's
someone
dating you
more
for
than
6
someone
years.
else?
If you're
People-
if you're talking about I don't
But
put
that's-
timelines and you're
sometimes-
dating her for 6
I'm
years.
telling
Sometimes
you.
that's the point. That's why you date, so you can
Yeah.
know if you see them in the long run.
After 6 years.
No, no,
I
no,
would
no,
be in
no,
a
no, no.
relationship.
I'm not saying
But you
6
could be
years.
like you could be like a boyfriend and girlfriend for
Right.
6 years. I think that's
Yeah.
perfectly fine.
That's
I don't
not
think you
fine.
should.
I don't think you should be a girlfriend.
I don't think
boyfriend
people
for
should
6
get
years.
married until they're ready or they
Right.
think they need to get married. There is no need. Like if you're happy with
6
that person,
I can tell you what.
'cause 6 years.
Look at this.
Someone could change tomorrow. You never
Right.
know. Like,
Look at this,
people
right?
change, dude.
Let's say me and you meet like in high school, right? 10th grade and stuff. And we've been dating, and we both go to like colleges in different states, right? But we still in a relationship. 10th grade to 12th grade, that's like 2 years. College is like 4 years. That's already that's already 6 years in there. Yeah, you know. Then even though like we've been dating for that 6 years, that may still not be like good enough for like you to
Right.
know like if this is somebody you want to settle with, because
disagree,
you haven't
yeah.
lived with that person yet.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you get to live with somebody, like
Yeah.
be with them under a roof for like good amount of time, you get to see the true colors, because there isn't that much you can hide anymore, because I'm seeing you like 24/7 now. So that's why like sometimes time, like we can easily get lost in time, right? Where like we feel like, oh man, my friend just got married, I gotta be next.
The pressure.
That may put you in a situation like you may very well get married, but like you probably gonna find yourself in like the wrong person, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like the time is, it's not my time. Just like our last guest, that's what he said pretty much.
It's not
And
my
I
time.
really loved it. He said, "My time is not your time." So
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like rushing, man.
Yeah, like
I don't,
if you're,
because
yeah.
if that's something that's serious, right? If I'm hearing,
You can't
if we
make
just start
mistake,
dating,
especially
you
as a
telling me
man.
about marriage,
Yeah.
all the time, and I'm like, why are we talking about marriage, right? Like, let's just
enjoy.
live within the moment,
Yeah.
right? Not saying we not did. Look at her face.
Talking about living the moment.
not saying like the end goal. Eventually, we all like to be, with someone that we love, right? But at the same time, I don't want to. Anytime we meet, it's just this married talk over and over again. To be honest with you, I'm gonna just be like, yeah, like I must. If I was feeling you, I'm like, I just can't. Like, to me, that's just something that's gonna be like, just gonna put me on a pause first and trying to observe if actually I see you as someone in the future, because I can't tell if I see you next, just by meeting you. I don't know that.
Why
Tomorrow,
are men
my
so
heart might
scared?
change.
No, but it's
Why
like
are you guys
it's like
so
you-
scared
It's
of
something that's-
marriage?
It's
no,
something
no,
that's
I believe that's it. I
Maybe
think
you
it's like
dread
have,
it.
No, you have a
They dread this.
no.
you have a friend that you have been friends with for years. You guys live together for the first time. The dynamic of your friendship when you're roommates completely changes.
Yeah,
It's
it
like the
does.
same thing like being in a relationship. You guys, like he said, if you were in college, you met in high school, you're in college, that's 6 years. You have never even lived in the same town essentially together, like, or even been as
Exactly.
adults, been able to like live in an apartment, live in a building, like see how one wakes up in the morning, like what their routine is, like how clean they are, how messy they are. Those are things in a relationship I think people don't like think about sometimes, but if it matters and like to that person, you have to see it. Like you have to understand.
No
how
matter
And
the
they-
scenario, 6 years is just
like COVID.
Absurd.
COVID's the perfect example. You know how many people who were in relationships for like 20, 30 years got divorced during COVID? Just because like you see a whole different side of a person even after that much time. So 6 years is nothing like compared to like being with someone all that time and then getting a divorce. I don't know. I think it's just like if you're ready and like do it, but don't rush it.
if a man doesn't know he wants to marry marry me within 2 years max, I'm out.
No, yeah, to me, at least a year, you should. Well, if the relationship is going good, right? Both
Yeah.
people are happy, you should know. But, less than a year, I don't think it should be like, yeah, I see you as someone. Nah, I don't.
That's
I don't-
rushing.
I don't know, man. I
Yeah,
can't.
I agree.
Because again, what I like, depend. It might change, or maybe you might behave in a certain way that might make me question you a little bit, or I might behave in a certain way where you question my behaviors. So I can't really say just by meeting you, yeah, I see you in my future. Like, I'll be lying to you if I say that shit. You know,
At least you're
that's
honest. You know
that's
what I
just
mean?
my
Yeah.
opinion, and
Yeah.
that's why I'm actually scared to date now, because like if I date, it's like, okay, I know this person has already told me, yeah, I'm dating to get married. But how about I start dating them and I don't see them as, that way anymore? It's like now I'm like trapped where, because I can't keep it going, because then that would mean like
It's unfair.
right. It is unfair. So I can't just tell them again, say, hey, I don't see you, because that's also bad.
Yeah.
So now what am I gonna do?
See, I feel like a lot of guys get stuck in that situation, and then they kind of just like emotionally shut down, and then they cause the girl to have to like initiate the breakup. I feel like
Right.
that's the route to go, and I mean it's a hard conversation to have, right? Because it's essentially like I'm sure this woman like probably sees you as like her future, like the father of her children, like she sees a life with you, which is sometimes like I also think like delusion, like you do not know if you want to be with someone like after the first date. Like I think that's like insane. Very rarely like it happens, but like they both usually are like they see eye to eye on that. But yeah, I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's like you have to like cut it off, like even if it feels wrong in that moment, it's really hard to do. But I think it just, again, it makes like animosity and tension towards everyone, and I think it causes like the woman again to have to be like, I'm gonna be the asshole that has to like end this relationship, when in
you guys
actuality
feel that way?
you ended the relationship like 2 months ago. Like
Do we feel like what?
like, do you ever like, I don't know, I feel like I hear this conversation a lot, like with my friends, like where they're like the guy, like I feel like a guy leaves a relationship like very quickly. Like they're very, like a woman will stick around even if she's like, oh, he's changed. Like you ever hear like these stories?
Really?
Like
Not me.
women, no, I hear it a
Yeah.
lot. Me personally, maybe I hear it a lot. Like women are like, oh, I never like realized that he was over the relationship. Like he was over the relationship 3 months ago, babe. You just didn't want to pay attention. And so once you finally wake up, like you're kind of like, oh, like I'm like shocked that this is all happening, and then the girl's kind of the one that's like, damn, I gotta like end the relationship. I think that's happened to me, and I feel like it's happened to people I know. So I think sometimes it's like I'd rather you just be like, you know what, we're just not like aligned on our dreams or our goals, or like I don't see you like I don't see myself marrying you. Like I'd rather you say that, as painful as that is. I'd rather you say that than like kind of just be like, oh, like I have to sit in every day and be like, oh, he's different.
They'd
today.
rather
You know
trigger
what I
you,
mean?
so you break
So
up
you
with
break
them.
up with them, 100%.
That's why some guys cheat.
Yeah, literally.
They do, because they be like, if I cheat, she's
You're
gonna
not
break
wrong.
up with me.
Yeah, 100%.
Speaking of cheating, I have a
respect
question
that,
for the guys.
honestly, to be honest.
What's cheating for you guys? Besides going to like have sex with somebody else, what's cheating? What else?
I
could be
feel like
cheating?
if you're entertaining someone on the side, like
If you slip
If you're
some
liking
DMs,
so many
is that
pictures
cheating?
of a
Nah.
female, that's not
DMs?
cheating to you?
I don't think pictures. Well,
Provocative,
No, but,
constantly liking.
I feel like if you guys were friends, maybe I would get it. But
No, it doesn't matter. Instagram model.
nah, if it, Instagram, model, definitely I know them when you're not getting them. 'Cause
Yeah, I think-
It doesn't matter.
They get
It doesn't
tons
matter.
of DMs, so
I think that's okay. Fair
To
game.
me, yeah.
Like it's
Nah,
like Kim
that's-
Kardashian's not checking
Yeah,
for your
nah.
300 follower.
Right.
boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like be fucking for real.
nah, it gotta be someone that I know, like my
That's
neighbor.
true.
I'm like, why you
Yeah.
liking his pictures? Then I'm gonna be like, okay, why?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. But to me, it's just entertaining someone on the side.
But
You
it's still
cannot-
disrespectful, don't you think? To
It is.
constant. It is.
It is.
Then why is it okay? Like just because it's not cheating, just because it didn't get to
Again,
that point.
Again, for me, if my partner is doing it right, again, it gotta be someone, like a local, like my type of average, But if someone that I know is like a celebrity, it's like someone got like 20K on, I'm like
You could care less.
definitely like nah, because they got a whole bunch of DMs, so
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
really. You can like
never
their
know.
post. Nah, man.
I think if you start like interacting with someone, and I mean
Yes.
like back and forth, then I have
like
a
through
problem.
text or
Or
phone
like even
call.
if I see a DM, like there's a problem.
Yeah.
But I don't think like
Liking
liking
picture.
someone's like booty pic or something.
Constantly.
I mean, like,
Sounds like you got experience.
Constantly.
You know
No,
what I
it
mean?
irritates me. No, I don't have an experience, but I just think no. Yeah. It's a no for me.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like
What about
it.
you? What's cheating for you?
That's cheating for me. I would say it's pretty much the same as him. Like just being straight up disrespectful, right? Like just chatting to like entertaining like other people when you know that you're supposed to be in you're in a relationship. Sometimes like I've heard somebody say like just because like I didn't get cut, like it doesn't count. It's not cheating. You remember that episode?
Yeah. That's cheating.
It's just like it doesn't count. It's not cheating if I don't
cheating.
get it. I was like, what? that don't even make any sense.
I
you know?
hate this generation.
Yeah, that's what she said. So it's very scary to me. But yeah, I just feel like it's once you start like trusting that, once you start being disrespectful like your actions, then to me, those are like signs of like it could be even worse than that.
I mean, one thing I've noticed this generation is like there's a lot of disrespect. You know, that's what I've noticed, right?
Look,
I feel like the reason why I'm saying this is because it's just the conscious. One that I too is like when I'm out with you, right? I don't need you to be telling me everywhere you see or this is my friend, this is my friend. That's to me
That
it's like
Drake song.
that's a turn off to me, right?
yeah, when you start having too many guys,
Right. You can't be having the hell 50 guy friend and you're the only female. Like I haven't seen any female friend of yours. So why is it all 50 guys? To me that's like why do you know all 50? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just an example number, but I don't. That's something that's just a turn off for me. And if I'm out with you, you like on your phone every second, pop up, pop up, pop up, and I'm gonna be like, I'm sitting right here.
Oh, I hate that.
We out.
Yeah.
You know, like nah.
That is
disrespect. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I look right. It's crazy because like some of these things like it's becoming like normal now, right? Where like some people don't even know that they're being
Right.
very disrespectful with certain things they're doing. So you see like you dating somebody, right? Be like, man, I'm hanging out with my friend today. Like, boy, a man or woman, a guy friend. Okay, that's dicey, interesting. So now I'm gonna ask you, okay, you can go on your date, right? You can go out with your friend and come back. Then I ask you, okay, don't you feel like any sort of disrespect to me? Pretty much, like you just going out like just random guy friend that you never told me about. Like I don't know them at all, but you just feel like just because you told me you're going on a date, I should be
date.
fine. I should be
It's a
fine with
date.
like just a date, right? Like I should be fine with that. So I feel like that's sometimes like it's very hard for like a lot of guys to like not like be controlling or not even seem like that. But certain things that you see people do like it forces the guy to like be in that situation. And when you question that specific moment, right, they be like, man, are you my dad? Or like things like that. Like it's very tricky now, man.
Sounds personal.
Very, very, very.
I mean,
My water's done. I'm sleeping on a.
yeah, I did ask you guys about
Cocoa?
what do you guys what is love to you guys? To me, right, what I consider love, it's you gotta have empathy, right? And you gotta be respectful. To me, those two things are like something that I'll hold, at a higher standard because you can't be disrespectful to me. You can't be. Oh, I had this experience where this person, they're not from African descent, nothing like that. They're from here, and they came to Maryland. I'm telling you, and everywhere they go, oh, why are there so many Africans? this is the face. I was like,
Me.
right,
I'm him.
right, and all the time she was just cursing. Like I'm like, don't you ever just speak without saying a curse word? Yeah, to me that was like a no
Yeah.
to me. You can't be. Then why are you in Maryland? Go back to wherever you came from. You can't be in Maryland and start questioning why there are so many Africans. Like
Yeah.
the hell?
Like culture, like I feel like
Right.
cultural respect in general. I hate when people go like to another country and then they like start acting like not disrespectful, but like it's like you're a guest, right?
Right.
It's like you walk into someone's home, you don't like go and just like throw whatever you want, mess it up. And I think it's the same thing. Like
I feel
we have
like-
to have respect for other cultures and stuff.
Right.
too.
We have internet now. You can't be ignorant. You
Yeah.
can go online, look up your research. Don't tell me shit that you know damn well isn't true. Because there are places in Africa way better than some place here. And I had this discussion where one of my friends, I told him, I was like, in America, that's when you see homeless. I said, in Africa, the only homeless people you see is probably crazy people. I said, that's it. I said, but you don't just see someone that are homeless, because they might
Like
just
sober and homeless.
right. They might just
Be beggars, but they
right,
have a home,
or
yeah.
maybe a friend might just call them, hey, come come sleep with us, like that. They're not even related. I said that's how nice we are, I said, but in America, people are homeless. Like you see that shit, but you don't see that shit back home.
That's true.
You can't even move back in with your family. Like in
Nah,
many
you
cases,
can't.
be like, man.
You got parents kicking their sons like get out. I said
Like
most
18
African
the day,
countries they
yeah.
don't. Most African parents they don't do that.
You live with your parents
Right.
actually until you get married. Like that's usually what people do.
So those are like just some of the differences. I'm like, you gotta do your research, man. Don't come up to me and start being ignorant as if like what is in Africa? Like, oh, so many Africans here.
I was
I hate
shocked to experience stuff like that because I came to America around like the end of 2015, almost 2016, I'll say. And like, I was shook. I was shook by everything that was going on here. Like the disrespect, I've seen like people disrespecting their parents, like straight up, like calling his mom the B word. And I was like, my mom would whoop my ass. But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen so many of those in school, right? Like high school. The same thing when I just came. You see like there's just one time, right? Teacher was teaching. We have like a couple kids, maybe like 3 or 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
They just a menace, man, in class. Like the teacher will be teaching, like they just in the back, like causing noise. And the teacher will be like quiet. And this little girl was like, man, shut up, Miss Hardy. And I turned back. I was like, "Wow, you can do that here."
I'm in heaven.
I was like, "Wow." I mean, back home, like you were taught to like respect your teacher, just like you respect your parents. And
Right.
if you don't do that, you get your ass whooped. Then
I
your
was gonna
parents gonna
say.
whoop your ass too.
Yeah.
Like when they find out you being disrespectful to your teacher, so things like that just becomes like normal, like situation like this. Like where do you cross the line? Because like you can even like discipline like people to like certain extent. Then you're gonna get yourself in like really really bad trouble because first of all the teacher cannot hit like the child, right? Like
No one's
even
gonna
for
spank
being
at
like very
school.
disrespectful stuff.
Nah.
Yeah.
We're kind of getting off topic, going
was-
back
We are.
to
I like this, though. I
going
like this
back to
topic.
our discussion.
No, I mean I did.
I
brought
would
up
like,
the
I'm just like,
disrespect.
I'd like to say,
Okay.
men. I'm gonna look at the camera saying this.
Right, look at them.
Men need to do better these days. Literally,
Why?
why? I came
And
here.
what?
Why?
In
In what
everything,
specific-
do better. Stop gaslighting people. Stop deceiving, and just be who you are
If-
from the start.
if you
don't
wanna
switch up. Don't be weird. And
If you want us to be honest, man, you won't like us.
no, be honest.
I'd rather
You'll find
not- but
somebody that likes you.
I would rather not like you in the beginning and then go
Find
about
out
my
later.
way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't waste my time. I think that's just my thing. I think in general
don't waste our
it's-
time.
Be honest with yourself, and I think like that's where like you said something earlier too. I think it was a really good point where you were kind of like when you're going through something like it's gonna affect your relationship with whoever you're dating. But if you guys don't tell us, like you need to be vulnerable, like you need to be willing to be open, because like yeah, there are some girls I'm gonna say like I have been in a situation where I was mad at someone and I used something that they said against them and I'm not proud of it. So I think I understand where you're like you don't want to be like put in a position where you're opening up to someone they like disrespect you. But at the same time, like, how do I know what you're going through? How do I know what someone else is going through if you're not telling me? Like, you could sit and say, like, oh, like, for example, you ignore, like, you're dating a girl and you ignore her. How does she know, like, you're going through something? She can't read your mind. She can't telepathically understand what you got going on. Like, you have to be willing to be like, okay.
Well,
like,
you guys expect us to know what you guys are thinking, right?
I don't. I said
But
communication.
Some women actually, let me not say most because I don't want them to get on me.
They're coming for you.
Some women will say, well, you should know what I'm thinking. You should know. Like, I don't know.
That's fair.
You gotta tell
That's
me.
fair. Yeah. I
Well,
think
we
that's
give
fair.
you guys hints. You
What-
should pick
what-
up on the hints.
What hints? Did you put it on a paper and just?
I don't
put
need
it on
to.
my-
I don't need to.
But I think like okay, like for example, right? Like a girl would be like, I like when you, like, I'm trying to find. I could come up with a good one. I like when you like, bring me coffee in the morning, something like that. To me, she told you that once. So there's like, even if it's not just directly like, oh, I'm gonna bring her coffee in the morning. That means, oh, like she likes me doing certain things that like make her life a little bit easier. So me, it's like if someone tells you something at face value, sometimes there are like things that you can also just be like, think in the bigger picture where she's like, okay, like she likes me making her a cup of coffee. That means she probably likes me like, oh, like making her a little bit of breakfast, or like she likes to come home from work and like have dinner on the table. Things like that I think is like, you have to sometimes think about what people are telling you and then also think like, how do I take it a step further? So I think it's like, we do tell you sometimes and we drop hints, but sometimes y'all...
Your hints are not
listen,
straightforward.
But they want us to tell them again and
You'll be
again.
like, tell me at face value. But like, no girl wants to be like, I want to be like cared for. Like, you should just do that. Like, you should, like, at one point she's going to tell you, like, obviously this is important to me, but it's your job, as it is for the woman for you, it's your job to kind of go to say like, okay, she told me this. How do I take that, like, that step further? I'll do it for, but I would do that for my man too, to be honest.
I hate repeating myself. Like once I tell you something, I'll probably tell you twice, and after that, I'm just like, I
you're
check
an adult.
out.
If I say it once, listen, accept it, and go.
How do you communicate that like in the beginning to the man?
I'd be like, oh, I like when, like, for me, I'm like really big on acts of service. So I like when someone, like, you don't have to tell me every day, oh, I love you. I'd be like, I like when you, like, like you're saying, I like when people do things for me.
Okay.
So, like, to me, like, if I say that, and then he tells me, like, oh, I like it when you do this, I'm going to go out of my way, too, to make sure that he feels loved in the way, or cared for in the way that he wants to be cared for, and he should do the same for me.
Okay. You said you don't like repeat yourself. Like I said once, the second time we're done. How do you expect the guy to know that? Like how do you, because I mean you have to pretty much let that known to like whoever you're dealing with. So they also can understand this is the type of person I'm dealing with. But if you just expected me to just know what's in your mind, then none of us are like mind readers here. So it's
No, we
it's
didn't say that.
It's not fair. But like, how do you make sure the guy knows it like ahead of time before they get to make that mistake?
Okay, so I pick and choose when I communicate those things to the person. Like, I
Okay.
don't just say it when he's, like, busy, when he's not 100%, like, paying attention to me. I say it when we're, like, the most relaxed, like, when we're not... I don't try to bring things up when we're fighting, because, like, that's when they don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, when we're relaxed and, like, I know you're hearing me, I'll tell you. And I'll tell you again, but I'll pick a time where I want to tell you. And I do that twice and you don't hear it, then you just don't respect me. That's how I take it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it should be taken that way.
But I think...
It should.
I
I'm
think
not
it's
repeating
also,
myself
like,
more
not
than twice.
necessarily that you
But that's
don't have
not
to-
disrespect.
No, look,
You just don't care, kind
No,
of.
no. That don't mean they don't care.
It does.
No.
If I tell
No,
you
look.
twice, like, let's say I don't like you doing this, you do it again.
Well, if it's, for example, if it is like them coming late, you told them you don't like that. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
That's some disrespect. But in terms of you dropping hints and then you don't expect
No,
them.
not hints. I communicate thoroughly. Like, I will
Okay.
tell you to the T what
Well,
I
it
don't
gotta
like.
be something bad where, yeah, that makes sense for you to feel like they disrespect me. But if it's not something bad, I don't feel like you should feel disrespectful.
Let me clarify. I don't think it's
usually something
it
bad.
doesn't really annoy me.
Why are
like,
you coming for me?
When I have to...
You brought it up. So that's how I can sit proper.
Like, I don't think I'm okay with repeating myself, but I want you to like ask questions. Like, I don't want to have to be like I don't want to say the sky's blue, the sky's blue, the sky's blue to you like 10 times, but you can ask me like, babe, like, why is the sky blue? Like, ask me questions about what I'm saying, because at least you're thinking about it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you, like, if you're like, I understand where she's coming from is like, if I say something to you and then you say like, okay, I'll like work on it, right? Whatever it is. If you come to me and be like, oh, like, is this how you want me to do this? Like, does this work for our relationship? Like, do you like to do this? That to me means you're making effort to actively take what I said to you and try to like do it in the way, like, show me what I need to be shown in the way that you know how. But if you're just like, if I have to say things to you 3-4 times, like, we're adults, like, we should be able to have like active present conversations with each other. And like, I like everything I'm saying like about that person, I expect like them to have that same feeling towards me. Like, I will always, like, if someone's like, I always ask, like, if I'm with someone, I'm like, is there something you want me to do better? Like, is there something we could work on? Like, that is me actively thinking about how to better like our relationship. So I think you have to do the same. But if you're just like listening, like absorbing what someone says and then doing nothing about it, then why am I going to sit here and have a conversation with you consistently and like nothing is being proven to me that you're backing up what you're saying?
I think it's also like the way you deliver like your message, right? I mean, let's say I'm just dropping hints and stuff like that. Some people may not be good at like reading hints.
Yeah.
They just not. They just want to like be straight up with them, right? But if I've like given someone like hint like once or twice and they still not getting it, maybe I should just be straightforward, or maybe I should just like so like the child, right? Like you tell the child once, don't touch the fire, right? They just very curious. They just want to know like what will happen if I touch the fire. They're gonna try again to do it. The next time, like you just pull them back when you see them going there, right? Then the third time, maybe just let the child touch the fire just a little bit. Touch the fire just a little bit. See, let them find out now. I'm not. And once they get that experience, they're not going to do it anymore. I feel like that's communication is very big, right? So you just have to understand like who you're dealing with, because sometimes like some people may just take in your message like differently, while it's like some people like learn from like action. Some people are very thoughtful, right? They can just see like the way like you behave and stuff, and they will know like immediately. It's probably like what they just said, right? Even though like they may not seem mad, but that gives me hints. But some people like you just have to be like very straight up, man. Look, I'm serious this time. Like let them know that you're very serious. Like I don't like why you did this, but I don't feel like you should just like punish somebody like immediately, because like you probably punishing them for like something that they never realized.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. The delivery I feel like is important. Like I feel like also if someone feels like you're attacking them, they're not gonna listen to you. Like you feel like you're like, I'm always doing something wrong. Like you're just gonna sit and kind of shut down. So I think it's like you have to make sure, like I think you said it good too, like relax. Like you're not like coming from a place of like when you're angry or when you're fighting. Like you're just having open communication about what is important to you, and like hoping that other person is able to kind of make the effort to understand and like bring that in.
And also, I feel like the solution for this is studying your partner. Like
You have to
you
understand.
both.
What are we? Are we in class or something?
Yeah. Love 101, baby.
Study.
We got
Studying
two.
your partner, because
Okay.
you're like
Like,
their
that's why you
backgrounds are
date.
different.
Like that's literally why you date, to know, to learn more about the person that you're dating. Like you understand, like you said, how they respond to even other people. It's like how they treat people with respect, like their morals, all that. Like that's the point of dating. You find out more about yourself, and you're finding out more about the other person. So like that's studying, I guess. I mean, you don't have to sit and like
So what?
Right, no.
I think that's what they need.
like, but
I think that's what they need to just learn
I mean,
about
do
each
it
other
if it
like
works
constantly.
for you. You should do it. Like,
But what's important though? If your partner is doing everything else right, but just they're not really getting the hints, and you feel like, well, I'm tired of just repeating myself, but they are doing every other thing correctly. Are you still gonna be like punish them for that?
depends on what it is.
Probably.
Like,
Yeah, I'm not saying like cheating. Come on, like
no.
not.
But like, it depends on like if like what they're not doing right is really, really important to me. Like if that, how is like I'm not. It's not to attack them, but it's like if
Am I
what
willing
they're
to
doing
sacrifice it?
that they're not doing right is extremely important to me, and how like I want to be in a relationship, then I have
Like
it's gonna be
give me
issue.
an example.
Like let's say like I'm trying to think of a good one.
But don't you compromise? That was your first question, right? Pretty much. Was it?
Me? Is that me? Don't compromise?
Yo, Yulia.
What
Was that
question?
something like that?
I asked so many questions.
The non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Like let's say like for me, okay, I'm just, this is a really bad
What's on
example.
this important to you? Like
I
make
don't
an
know, like I
example.
can't think of one off the top of my head right now. Like okay, let's say
Is it like
communication.
family?
Communication. He's like the perfect, let's say perfect partner, respectful, good with my parents, good with my friends. Everyone loves us together. But like there are certain things that we are unable to talk about. Let's say he has like
An issue going on.
like an issue. Perfect. That's a perfect thing. And to me, like I'm not saying you have to talk to me about it, but I want you to communicate to me like, babe, I'm having a bad day. There's something going on and I need to work on it. If you're doing everything else right, but like for me, like I have just growing up, like from the way I've seen my parents' relationships, communication is very, very important to me. So that to me in a relationship, like if we do not have that, there's everything else is like a dark cloud. Like that's the dark cloud on the sunny island that he's created, and he has to work on it. And if he doesn't want to work on it, then that to me is like you could be the perfect guy in like every other world, but like if that is just so important to me that we can't fix that, then that's not like, I don't think that's the right person for you, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you guys. What's an ideal like date for you guys?
Ooh,
So,
that's
like, what would
fun.
you
An
consider like
ideal
an-
date?
Yeah.
Something? I don't
Like,
know.
yeah, this is successful. Went nice.
Something, I think like something, it starts off casual and then something that like with like you get like some adrenaline rush. Like I would go skydiving on a first date or something.
What?
Something crazy, yeah. I feel like it's because you get to see, I don't know.
You're a rare breed.
I would do some shit like that. That'd be fun. I think
No,
that'd
no,
be fun.
I actually did. I was reading a book, right, and that's pretty much what the author was saying, right? Like, sometimes like it's best to go on a dates where like you get to like do an actual activity, right, rather than just like sitting down like eating, because dates like that typically tends to like quickly turns into like an interview.
Yeah.
It's like tell me this, do this, then you don't really get to like see that's where you get to get the guy that would just like tell you the things that you want to hear.
Yeah.
And those things, right? But when you're doing activities, right, then you get to see what they truly passionate about, or like the things like how they like just communicate with like people and stuff. You just get to see a whole different side of them without them even saying it to you verbally.
Yeah. And I think it's like also when you're first meeting someone, you get very nervous, right? Like it's a very
Yeah, it's an
there's like
icebreaker.
Anxiety,
Yeah.
right? Like around like a first date. So I think it's like sometimes doing things that are fun or like naturally embarrassing, right? You fall, like whatever it is. Like I think it helps like break that awkwardness that like comes in. You're like, hi, nice to meet you. So I think it's fun. Like it's a fun little way to just I think see someone else from a different perspective.
Okay, I'll add that to my list.
Yeah,
Skydiving.
Go for
What
it.
about you?
My ideal date would be like starts with flowers, opening doors.
Flowers
I
already.
like to eat. I like to eat.
Flowers the first date.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Flowers.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
You deserve
You're
to be
like
courted.
flowers.
She
You're
wants
like
to be
the type-
courted. Yeah, and I respect that. You deserve it.
you're like the type where you want your man, park down there, have like a sign, baby, I love you. and
No,
then
no.
walk-
She does. She's lying.
No,
She
not
does.
that crazy.
She does for sure.
Don't
wouldn't
it feel
hate
weird?
it.
That
I mean,
shit
that's like the vibe I'm getting.
You're romantic for sure.
Right.
100%.
It's good.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
not bad.
nice, honestly.
Anyways,
You don't
going
feel
back
weird?
to what
She's
I'm
more like
saying.
a
Anyone
risk in
just
her
bring you
life.
flowers?
That's
I
what
like
she
it. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
So yeah, like a nice restaurant where we can talk, where it's not too loud or like it's not too crowdy, but like not too quiet either. Like good music, good vibes, good food, like good conversations, and then maybe some dessert. And that's it
Okay.
I like it, honestly.
for a good first date. But like opening doors, pulling chairs, 100%. Like that's where
And
like,
flowers. Don't forget the flowers.
flowers.
don't forget the flowers.
She was like, well, you open the door. X.
Pull out the chair.
Yeah, of course,
X,
yeah.
Check
But
that.
sometimes you can't really base it. It might just be they're not used to doing stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he better get
But
used
like,
to it
I will
now.
tell
But,
someone like,
yeah, you
I want
can-
you to do that for me.
Right,
Yeah,
after,
and
like,
then
the
they
first
should do
date,
it. Yeah.
You can, tell them like, I really enjoy this. Like, if you open the door, I find that attractive or something. The man, it's gonna be like, oh, you found, I must.
And
have
I
done
want
that.
everything
Yeah.
planned. Like I don't want to like answer, "Oh, what restaurant do you want to go to?" Like I want him to plan the whole thing. And like he could maybe ask me like, "Do you like Mexican food, for example, or like Italian?" And I'll be like, "Yes or no." We could have that conversation, but I don't want somebody who makes me plan the date. Like you ask me out and you make me plan it. Like no, I'm not coming.
But like, yeah, I would hope not.
Okay, that's good.
Hey.
Would you ever ask a man on a date, Yuli?
No, like no.
Okay.
Why?
No.
Yeah, I would.
It's not a confidence thing. Like I could, but it's just I don't think women are chasers. Like we don't chase.
But like, I don't.
Sometimes it's
I
not
don't
a-
chase.
it's
I'm not gonna
bad.
chase. I'd be like, "Oh, you're cute. Let's go on
You
a
can-
date."
yeah, you
But I
can-
wouldn't like.
I would
I'm not
never.
running.
So
I would throw a hand.
Okay,
but,
Yeah,
like,
that's
let's
it, yeah.
say there's this person that like you really see yourself with, right? Like it pretty much from what you've seen, right? Like he takes like all the boxes for you, but he may not be on that same phase, right, as you are. But you feel like if you like talk to him, right, he may like pretty much get on with you. you still gonna pass on the opportunity just
Yes.
because?
I'll still be around and like keep throwing hints. It doesn't have to be a date right away. Like I'm a very patient person. Like I don't need to rush it to become a date. Like I could be chill around him and see if it goes that way. But like I would not go out. Not that it's anything wrong. Like nothing is wrong with chasing. Like men, everything's wrong with it. Yeah. I take that back. But yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
So
even if I like him.
So it's pretty much safe to say, you definitely wouldn't propose to a man.
No. My whole family would disown me. Like disown me.
So I see those and I think they're really cute. But I would be like, I would want to make sure that he was gonna propose to me first, and then I'd be like, oh, let me plan something cute.
I am not
you know what I'm
proposing to a
saying?
man.
I don't know. I think it's so cute when you like. I don't
not
know.
doing that.
You have to propose, but like we both have to agree to propose.
I'm gonna be petty.
I'm not proposing.
Be petty. Be petty.
Yeah, give me some time. Let me think about it. Nah, I've seen that too. I mean, it is cute, but
I don't know.
What would you do though? If a woman proposed to you?
I won't let my woman do it.
No,
I would do it
yeah.
before she do it.
Yeah,
If
that's
I
what
know
I-
she
yeah.
gonna do it, I'll do it
Yeah.
before she do it.
If
But
you
I
don't-
would still do
What
it.
if you don't know
what
and
I'm
she
saying?
proposed?
Yeah, what would you do?
Say no.
I mean, no. If I actually like her, you know, I see myself with her, I would say yes, but then I'm gonna propose to her again.
I
It's
think both
embarrassing.
people should
Women
propose.
don't
I
do
think
that.
That's I think it's cute. I don't
I'm
know.
not expecting, you know, a woman to do that to
Get
me,
on her.
but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's the place where you're going to put the man in. You know, because you put him in a situation where, like,
Especially not in public too.
everybody gonna look at him like,
There's only one knee though, to be fair. So there's only one knee.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
though.
think that's gender roles, right?
I mean, hey, we're living in an equal, you know, world now, so I guess it's not a
I'm
problem.
I'm not living in an equal world. See, I don't even know how to say
Oh.
I don't know what to say.
but I'm not living in that.
No,
What does that mean? What do you mean by that? You don't believe in like
I don't want to
equality?
say this and get trolled, huh?
You don't believe in equality? That's what you're trying
No,
to say?
I do. I believe in equality, but like not when it comes to like family, because there's
Right.
like
Okay.
there needs to be an authority. Like two people can't be authority. Like we can decide together on things, but like, I feel like I want the last caller, like the last shot caller, to be my husband, and I would happily like submit, but like I have to make sure that he's the type of person I could submit to. I'm not just gonna submit to anybody.
What if the
But I
man
will.
is
I
not?
don't.
Think
Huh?
that.
What if the man is not?
Then I'm not gonna marry him.
Really?
Oh,
Look, right. Look. Situation where like the woman like is more disciplined to the kids than the guy, right? Than the husband. So sometimes like you see when the dad goes to work, right? The child and the mom, like the child will be like very, very he will behave like pretty much well when he's around the mom. But the dad may have like a different approach and like how he disciplines the kid, right? So maybe the way the child reacts to the dad, it's not the same. Same way they will react to the mom, right? So would you like still like take that responsibility if you know that the child's pretty much like hear like your voice louder than the dad, or you would just be like, man, I would just leave that to the man all the time?
I think parents need to parent according to their child, not according to a role. Because I think like I think that's why there's a lot of like animosity between parents where it's like, I'm the bad guy, like I'm always the bad guy, because you're putting them in a position where they have to make really tough decisions. And they want like your help on it, or they want your like support on it, and you know, like that as a child, right? That makes you like. I feel like a lot of like African kids are like, my dad is the guy. You know, like if you get spanked, your dad's the one that's usually spanking you, and then your mom's kind of like the gentle, nicer
Both
one.
spank me.
But that like in your head, that like sets like your own perspective on like what you can talk to your parents about, how you communicate with them, how you like feeling like that comfortable to even have a conversation. Like that's why a lot of people don't open up to their dads, if I'm being really honest with you, because they know their dad's gonna punish them and they don't feel like they're getting the actual like support that they need. So to me, I think it's really actually not a, like I don't think it's ever a good idea to like be like, you have to do this and you have to do this, because your parents and your equals, and your children are your children. So you guys have to work through that shit together. And the way your kid needs to be parented changes by child. Like not every kid, like you guys have all siblings, right?
Yeah.
So like you and your like your little brother don't think the same, right? Like you don't even like absorb the way your parents talk to you the same. So like I think parents like try to use the same parenting model on every child, and it just doesn't work. Like kids would be more successful, and I think more like, to be honest, happier if like parents weren't like trying to follow this formula of being a good parent, because there's no formula. I just think like it's just you gotta make sure that you're working with your kid and understanding them from their perspective, like, and not just being like, okay, like I spanked my oldest, so I'm gonna spank my youngest. It just doesn't work. Like
I feel like it gotta be a balance.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
the point where you shouldn't be like, just spanking them all the time. It should be where if it's necessary, you can do it, but if not, sit them down, talk to them, tell them what's good or right, continuously do that. But at the same time, if you feel like, okay, well, I've done a lot, then maybe let me just spank them just this one time and see if it works.
Yeah.
But then just like what you said, it changes by child.
Yeah. How I was raised, both my parents spanked me. And when my mom... Not a lot of times, just a few times. But like when my mom was doing the spanking, my dad would not disagree with it. Even if he actually like disagrees with it, they talk about it like behind closed doors, like when I'm not watching. And if my dad is spanking me, my mom would not like disagree with it.
Yeah, they're a team,
like,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how it
that's
should
exactly
be.
how, like when you're out with your friends and you're like, I may be wrong, but don't tell me I'm wrong until we get home.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it is. Like you have to like support, I think, each other up front,
Right,
and be like okay with each other's decisions, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. But yeah, like like my sister and I, like I'm really close with my dad. My sister's more close with my mom. My dad is the oldest. My mom is the youngest, and so like we all kind of just understand like the roles. So growing up, like, it was like my dad disciplined me and my mom would discipline my sister. So I think it really did help us, like, I think, like, I understand my dad's perspective on things and I understand my mom's perspective on things. And I think for me, it worked. And my sister, it also worked. So I think it's kind of like, I don't see them, right, as, like, two people, like, who had to, like, they were, like, I'd see them as, like, a team who worked together to try to, like, understand their children from the way they could and use what they know as to, like, how to be good parents to, like, to work with us to make us achieve our goals, or like help us learn like what we're doing wrong and how to make us be better. So I think it's just you got to work with your partner. So I think I get what you're saying, like the authority of like you want to be able to have like that one decision maker, because I think it also takes a little pressure off of you. But you guys, I think, still have to make those decisions together.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, because I've seen a lot where some parents they don't discipline their children at all. They just be like, well, I'm going to talk to them as an adult.
Yeah.
That works sometimes, but it don't.
Doesn't always.
So it's like it has to be a balance where you tell them, like, let them know that you are their parents. Like, it's just simple. You make the choices, both of you, right? Not the child.
Yeah.
So, because if you allow the child to dictate, then it's gonna definitely.
They run in the house. Yeah, it's gonna be a problem. I think it's also like. I used to get spanked like a lot. I was a little bit of like an asshole growing up, so I understand why my parents did it. Like it is what it is. But I used to get spanked a lot. But I think at one point it was kind of like, okay, like I'm just gonna do this, and if I get spanked, like that's it. Like like I get spanked, but I can do it again, because there's nothing else they can do except ground me, and I'd rather be spanked than grounded, because at least I get to like your butt hurts, you move on, like it's just whatever. So I think it's like at one point too, it's kind of like I feel like the spanking has to be like the big thing. Like, it has to be not a scary punishment, but, like, it has to be, like, it can't be, like, a normal thing, because you get used to it. You become, like, a little numb to a spanking after a while. Like, after, you know what I mean, 2-3 times, you're like, okay, like, I'm going to break curfew if I just get spanked. Like, it's not that serious.
It's just going to hurt for, like, a couple minutes.
Yeah, right? And the fun will last forever. That memory lasts forever, so you'd rather do that.
Yeah, I didn't experience a lot of that. I was, like, more like a... I listen, so...
Good boy.
Well, it depends. I do listen because I don't like when people talk. So I'll prefer just do shit. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
And just move on. Because, I mean, that's how I guess I was... I kind of picked it up. But some of my siblings are not like that. So I guess they got different treatment, I guess.
Are you the oldest?
No.
The
youngest?
Second.
Middle, yeah. That's what I thought.
I wish.
No, you just have like
you're
like mediator.
Yeah,
you're like the
I've seen
mediator.
it.
I feel like you're like the balance. That's usually what the middle child is.
Yeah, but I wasn't like I was a good student, but I wasn't like I was still doing bad, but that still didn't equate to them, spanking me, nothing like that.
No,
I just know how to
maneuver.
I know what they're looking for, so I do that in terms of because my parents they was like, well, do well in school, so I'm like, okay, bet that's it. I was just checking the school, and then but on the side I was just being
Me too.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
You both went to high school in the States, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I went both.
They
Oh,
went to
really?
the same
Okay.
school.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Nice.
Oh yeah, my parents, my mom, she used to whoop my ass, man. Like really bad. Like I mean, I used to be like very troublesome as well.
With
You look like it.
I look like yeah, I used to be very troublesome, and she used to like beat me like almost every to the point where like I'm used to it, right? Like I would expect it, and it's not like she would say like don't do this, right? Because I was like very curious too. Like she would be like that's like radio like that, right? She just purchased this. She'll be like don't touch it until I get back home tonight.
You touch it.
But I'm so curious. I want to see on that radio before she come. Then I would plug it up. Then it just blew up, and she come up and find out that the radio. I mean, I would try to hide it, right? But obviously, just being a kid, right? She's like, "Where's your radio?" I didn't see it. Then she finds it like under the bed. Nice ass whooping, right? Nice ass whooping. So, yeah, I grew up, that, but I did. I mean. These are value. There's also not so much value, right? Because once you get used to it, then the child, like it is what it is at that point. But she's definitely changed. And looking at my mom now, the way she's raising it, my little brother's like, man, this is definitely not the not the mom I knew about, But there has to be like that fine balance because when you're young, like you're very curious. Like a lot of things that you do, like you feel like you know everything, right? Well, you really don't. So sometimes like the let's say you like video games so much, right? If I'm a parent, I think if I know exactly what the kid likes doing, right, and start like depriving them from that, then that would be like a good way to like make sure they listen. Like you like video games so much, like if you don't listen, you're not gonna play video game for like 2 weeks, right? But at the same time, you have to balance that too with like rewards, right? When the child do something good, like make sure like they know that they do something good, like do something nice for them. So that will motivate them more. It's like just want to do good things, and when they do something bad, make sure you let them know that. Sometimes like you don't have to like cause like physical pain to them, but just let them know, man, this is not good, man. Like show them example, like people that do things like this way they typically end up. And the next time they do it, like try to talk to them again. The third time, maybe okay, this is my last time. I'm telling you this. You do this again, you getting your ass whooped the next time. Just let them know straight up. The next time you do this, you know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Ass whooping.
Ass whooping.
Yeah, and I think it's like they have to learn something from a punishment. Like, what do you learn?
You can learn a lot from punishment. Man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's true.
Look. A lot of people usually try to take the physical pain away from from like punishing like kids, but in reality, right, even like when we go into like tough times, right, sometimes that's when you get to see the best of people. Like when they go into like physical pain, like struggles, like they become like so they put them in a state where like, man, this I don't want to feel this anymore. So sometimes like it's very necessary to like do that. But I mean, obviously, not to the point like you lose your mind over the kid, like just hating them with like everything.
Yeah, I feel like like sometimes when like parents spank kids, it's out of like wanting to make them like submit. Like it's not necessarily like it could be they did something wrong, but it's like sometimes it's like they don't even you don't even realize like you do things sometimes that you don't even realize are wrong, or like you don't really understand the consequences of your actions. So I think it's like when you're spanking someone like that, you're not really like they're not learning anything. Like they're not learning what they did was wrong. They're just learning, I do this happens, and if I can handle this happening again, I'm gonna do it again. So I think it's like it has to be a balance between like being able to help them understand and process why they're doing what they're doing. Because like, do you guys remember like being teenagers? Like we were mentally like our hormones and shit, like we were crazy. Like we couldn't like half the time we couldn't even process what we were feeling. So like imagine you're going through that and then your parents are just like shitting on you and then spanking you. You're kind of just like, what's the point of this? Like, I'm just gonna go do what I want. So I think it's like you have to be able to like allow people to also communicate and understand what they're doing is wrong and why they shouldn't do it. So I think it has to be a balance of the two. Because I feel like I always say I don't want to spank my kids. I probably will in the future. I just have a feeling like, because even like you know, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying I'll do it all the time, but I'm like, you know, once a year or something.
And also try not to do like in public also.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, everything stays
you're
at home.
You're embarrass the kid. Like,
yeah.
So bad to the point.
I hate that. Yeah. Public shame.
Yeah.
I hate
public
that.
shame like is very bad.
Yeah. It really messes. Yeah. Like the whole like, you know, when parents like spank you, grab your ear or something. I'm like, no, don't do that to your kid in public. Like, yeah.
Yeah. that's how they do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just it's hard nowadays because of what's, you know, being put out there. Whereas like now you can't. It's like now they're telling you how to raise your your kids. Whereas like, and it's like, why are they telling me? Because I'm their father.
Yeah.
Or you are their mother, whatever. But they shouldn't be telling you.
Yeah.
Like certain ways how to raise them because they're your child.
Your job. Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
That's the only controversial thing where I just feel like it should be up to the parents.
Yeah.
You know, just because they're the one who brought the child here.
You know, one thing I don't like too when people I know, I mean, some parents are like really bad at parenting. That's actually a thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
But for most cases, like parents actually do have like good interest for their kids.
Yeah, always.
You know, and man, it's very tough. You know, when you come to like places like this, you see like something can easily happen and you just lose your child, man. Like and now the child is just with like a bunch of other kids, living in a system where like, it's not like the best for that specific child. Now it's like all of you are like equal now. It's very that's just that means you must obey, man. You must comply to the rules.
Yeah.
If you want to keep your child.
Yeah, that's literally what it is. Yeah. I think also I feel like the older I get, the more I think I understand like my parents and like how hard it is to be a parent. Like,
right.
It's very hard, man.
Yeah, you have a career, like you have all these things. I can't imagine having like a 3-year-old like calling me like like a 13-year-old call me a bitch or something. Like I can't deal with that.
Oh,
like
boy.
I couldn't even deal with the thought of like having to deal with like something I created that I'm responsible for. So I think it's like the older I get, I'm like, damn. I was like, dude, I put them through it. Like maybe I did deserve that spanking. Maybe I did deserve like that shit. So I think it's like that just comes with age though. Like we cannot understand what it's like to be a parent when we're like 14. Like we can't empathize with our parents because that's not the relationship we have with them. But I think it's I think it's just like you gotta be forgiving and empathetic towards people and understand.
Have you ever heard this, man, from your parents? When you get a child, you get to see it.
My mom always used to say that.
Always.
But yeah, man, we getting close to 2 hours now.
I like how we started from like the relationship,
I know.
and now it's like
Shifted
5
to
years,
childhood.
10 years, 20 years from now.
Okay, wait, I have one more question.
Okay.
How do you guys feel about dating apps? That's what I want to ask.
I don't know, bro. People using it.
Do you use it?
It can be necessary.
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
On what?
It depends if I'm looking. If I'm not looking, then
Looking for what?
dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
It depends too, though. If you go on, okay.
I'm trying to
If you
promote
go-
my Instagram so y'all can follow me.
Do it.
So if you go on dating apps, right? I mean, it's gonna be like very random, right? I wouldn't say you go there like with the intent to like looking for like somebody to marry like immediately, all right? Everybody's on this, so it's just a dating app. Like you just go there like test the water, and you may very well find like somebody that works very well for you, but most people there is definitely not for you. So it can be necessary, but I would just say just.
It's just like going to the club and then you end up finding your wife. You don't know that,
You think you could find your wife at the
No,
club?
it's
find your wife
rare.
at the club.
It's
but
rare.
I mean,
Yeah, very.
Could.
It could,
It
but
could.
again,
The chances are slim, man. Like to find like a good wife.
The good wife.
A good wife.
Because
Yeah, you gotta say
again,
good.
right? If you're that type of person where you are like you want your wife to, you're not like the outgoing. You want like laid back, and then you go to the club, you meet this person. Trust me, you're not gonna after
How can
you've
you
been
even
together,
tell
you're
them
not gonna
not to
tell them not
go to
to
club
go.
anymore?
You can't.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
That's where
be
you met
upset
them.
with someone for being who they are, and then all of a sudden getting upset with like.
Can't tell them
you know,
don't go to
yeah,
club.
Yeah.
Like no,
You met
that's
me at
where
the
you met
club.
them.
That's true.
You know, so if you're not, if you don't see yourself, so you shouldn't be going there to look for,
It's true.
you know,
yeah.
but you should look for places where you feel like, okay, well, this is my type of vibe. This is how I see myself.
Yeah.
Those are places. If you're a super Christian, religious, or Muslim, hey, you go to the church or you go to the mosque. Because if that's how you feel, you should go directly there. Because
That's
eventually you find
If you're
someone
looking for a
where-
religious
Aligns
person.
on your
Right,
values.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, but if you're not that, then
Yeah.
you're super religious. You go to the club. Trust me.
You can't just be like, oh man, today's a good day. It's a Friday. I'm going to the club to look for a religious woman. It's a Friday. I'm going to the club to look for a religious woman. You're contradicting yourself.
No.
Hey man, hey, we're not saying there are no good women in the clubs, by the way.
I was
It's,
like, we going to club?
good
Just
one. Yeah, but I mean, sometimes it's very easy for like you to like feel like your life is you
Right.
living the better life, but sometimes people go to the club for different reasons, right? And it's just different passion. Like me and G may not just see like that type of vibe, right? I mean, I used to club a lot. Actually, that's why I think I just got tired of it.
Yeah.
You know, as you get older, I don't
I would do it, like,
enjoy
once in a
it
while,
like
right?
that, but now I'm more like a chill vibe type of stuff. So that's what I enjoy now.
Yeah. That's
I don't know, like I can't see myself going to club all the time. Like,
I think I would appreciate like having like game night stuff like that, or like we
Yeah.
just go out and like do stuff as friends,
Yeah.
right? Where like we can pretty much like just focus on us rather than like the environment. That's what
do a lot of
because
activity
you have like
stuff.
a good group. I feel like
which
when you have
is-
a good group of friends that
yeah,
you
that's
built,
the thing, man. You have to find a good group.
yeah,
Right.
like you're more like willing to want to just be around them and not like have to go constantly try to meet new people. So I feel like that's like a good reflection too. Like if you're in a good place with like, and you have a good like support system around you, that's like a good. I feel like a good indicator of that. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, this been super great. Thanks so much for coming
I
up.
feel
you
like
for
you
having
guys
us.
came in like, we gonna get at them like
Yeah, they killed it,
boom,
man.
boom, boom, boom.
I was very nervous at first.
Yeah.
I wanted to attack you guys a lot of
I
times,
said
but
that-
I tried
we
to
should be
hold
nice.
back.
Yeah, I was like, we should be nice.
Really? Oh man, I told Muhammad to come ready. So it's probably be a smoke, a lot
I
of
was
smoke
like,
in
no
it.
problem, man.
But hey, definitely, you guys are always welcome to come back on.
I
And,
love it. Yeah, this is awesome.
Bring
I'll leave your
topics.
handles on though.
We're gonna be ready.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out. That was dope.
That was good, guys.
Dope.
I literally messaged you in the middle saying, I got to pee.
Yeah.
And then I deleted it.
got
I don't want to get out because I'm like in the middle. I can't walk out.
I kept drinking water and
I got
stuff.
too, but you can go ahead.
You want to rock, paper, scissors?